2, The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. It's so hard to explain this book. I mean, I've written so much in it because you have to pay attention to where things are going, because the thing about the book is it's not written in chronological order. It skips around, and there's 4 chapters. This was 4 chapters, each written or narrated by a different person. And the first one is by, I guess he's a man named Benji. He's like 33-ish years old, and he's mentally retarded. So he doesn't have a concept of time like we do, and he doesn't understand the difference between the past, the present, and the future. So his narrative will just jump without even telling you where he's going, because everything is present for him. I read it in a class. We spent the whole class, like all 16 weeks, reading just this book, because it's so difficult to do by yourself, which is why I understand why you keep putting it down, because it's hard to understand. And this book really, really, really made me understand how form and content can complement each other in ways that I didn't know was possible. Like, I understood that form and content did impact each other, of course, but I never understood just how vitally, like, they are tied together in certain, especially modernistic or postmodernistic works. And I just love I love this book so much. This is one of my favorites. These are all my favorites, but I've written paper after paper about this book. I've done a ton of research about this book. I considered writing my senior's honor thesis about this book specifically. If you've got the time, if you're interested in anything with literature, if you don't mind a challenge, and if you feel like you're really up to a challenge, you should definitely check this one out, because it is the most rewarding, beautifully written treat of a novel you will ever get your hands on. Finally, number 1, Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. More than anything else, it taught me the power that authors have over their readers. I kind of always believed that, like, I could feel whatever I want about the characters that I'm reading about, and no matter what the author intended for them to be like, I could have my own perceptions of them, and this definitely taught me otherwise. So even if you've never read Lolita or seen the movie, you've definitely heard of it. Like, you know what it's about, or at least you have an idea. It's about a man who has an obsession over young girls, and he falls in love with, her name isn't Lolita, her name is Dolores Hayes, but he calls her his Lolita, and he marries her mother dies, and he travels all over America, with her, and has sex with her, and at first she's only 13, and at first she's kind of interested because this is like new grown-up stuff that she's doing, and then it's just clear that he's just raping her, he's a pedophile, he's a horrible, horrible person. And it wasn't just me. I read this book for a class too, and a lot of people found that although he was describing in gory detail these awful things that he was doing to this child, we liked the character, we were even on his side, which is awful. And at first I thought there had to have been something wrong with me, but I started talking to people in the class, and the question was brought up, is he a likable character? And his actions are terrible, but for some reason Nabokov has written it so brilliantly that you know you're supposed to be disgusted by what he's doing, and you're not. But the way he's written, you can't hate him. And that proved to me definitely once and for all how just the way that authors can control their readers in ways that I never thought possible. Book that's definitely changed my life. If you're up for a good read, a good scary read, it's like a roller coaster, it takes you for a ride, definitely check this one out. You will not regret it. I promise you will not regret it. Okay, so that is my top 5 list of books that have changed my life ever. If anyone out there wants to comment on my list, maybe why I read something wrong or what you think about a specific book, feel free to leave all that in the comments. And Cecilia, I will see you next time.
I am gonna make it through this year.